jungle. Who wants the smoke? I didn't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Chasing C notes. Welcome to the jungle. Who wants the smoke? I didn't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Dynasty.
Welcome to Chasing C Notes, the podcast. I'm your co-host, Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host, Larry. What up, Larry?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
How y'all doing? You know what we do? We talk about the Boston Celtics and anything related to the NBA. This is episode 19 from season 2. Larry, we had, as both Boston Celtics fans, we had a bad December and then an inconsistent January, but as I look at the totals, it wasn't that bad of a January. What were your thoughts? What do you think about what happened in January?
Well, the good news was, we did we had a lot of road games. We had a lot of tough West Coast road games, and we did have some wins there. But it just felt bad. It felt like we were losing games we shouldn't be losing to. Felt like we had some close games that shouldn't have been close. So overall, it just really felt bad. Yeah, but like you said, when I'm looking over the overall, hey, we're still in third. Second in the NBA on the East side. So we're still doing what we need to do. But New York is creeping close to us.
Yeah, New York is very, very close to the Boston Celtics. And this is episode 19, so we'll definitely have NBA news. We'll do our predictions for February. We'll do our power rankings. And of course, we'll do the stock up, stock downs portion of the episode. But first, Larry, let's start with the NBA news. NBA trade is approaching. We already know that Tucker went from the LA Clippers to the Jazz. Any other trade other than, and we'll talk about Jimmy Butler, but other than that, anything that you see that could help not only the Boston Celtics, but another team?
I think we're going to have some surprises, just like the WNBA just had some surprises with some big names got traded out there. I think the NBA is headed for that as well. There's just a lot of teams that should be doing better, and there's a lot of teams that are, that we thought were going to do worse, and they're doing well. So I think those trades are going to happen, and it's going to shake things up. So I think that's coming really soon as the trading deadline. Jimmy Butler, I think it's just really expensive to grab him, and I don't know what he's going to be like in a locker room. So I think that's the hesitation, but event get chipped off somewhere. We'll see. It's a wait and see game with him.
Yeah, because he's getting up there in age, right? There's no way that Pat Riley is going to give him an extension. But he can also opt in next year, which is the worst case scenario, because not only is it going to be costly for the Miami Heat, but then he's probably not going to play because he's suspended. He just suspended. It's like he can breathe a different way and they suspend him. I don't know. It's a very weird dynamic going on with the Miami Heat, but I'm here for it. Get my popcorn because I love it. This is a team that's given the Boston Celtics many exits, many hard times. But there's other trades, Larry, that I'm gonna mention a couple here, and then you tell me if it makes sense. Zach LaVine to the Bucks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just, like I said, I feel like Milwaukee is missing something. There's a piece they're missing, and that could definitely help. I heard some other names go on to the Bucks, and they were shooters, and I feel like that's what they need. I just think that, yeah, we know they have, Dame and Giannis, but they are missing that one. Even though Milton had a good game the other day, they're still missing that firepower. So I can see something like that working out.
Yeah, I can see that too. They're like peaks and valleys, right? Sometimes they get really hot, and then sometimes they just blow leads. It's a Doc Rivers show, so that's gonna happen. Here's another trade possibility. Bradley Beal to the Spurs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we thought that the three guys there were gonna shake and move, but it's just not. Even though Bradley Beal even had a good game the other day, I just feel like that would be a good move to move him out. I don't know what's going on. Phoenix started off strong and then they started slumping. I'm not sure what's going on with Phoenix and why they're not doing that well. But, we had the similar feeling when Kyrie was with Luka, and they kept losing games, and then all of a sudden they turned it around, last year, and now Luka's been out, but Kyrie's still helping them win games. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, whatever happens with the Dallas Mavericks, I'm not mad at, because they're actually a team that hustles and they play hard for what's the coach's name? What's his name? I can't even think about it, but I know Kid, yes. Kid. Thank you. So they play hard, so I'm not mad at that. So here's another possible trade, Larry. Tell me what you think. Lonzo Ball to the Charlotte Hornets.
That'd be great to reunite some brothers. I remember your comment. Lonzo wasn't playing well with Chicago. I don't think he has enough games underneath him yet, so we don't really know if he's going to ever get to his tip-top shape like he was, couple years back now. I think that would be good. I think that'd be a good combination. That would get maybe Melo off the ball, and Lonzo can handle the ball, so that might be good for them.
When I was watching that Chicago game versus the Celtics, he was not shooting very well. He was not, because the whole thing was like, they got the Ball brothers, they have handles, they have, people like, there was a lot of passes that people weren't ready. Other teammates were not ready. I was just like, man, Alonzo Ball looks out of place. Could be that he may not be 100% yet, right? So we don't know. But I think he needs maybe another summer to gather thoughts. I don't know. Maybe even playing with his brother might change things around. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of talent that maybe he's not either being wasted or he's not ready for, right? So I don't know. Maybe they do end up trading him. I don't know. Let's talk about this that been floating around, Larry. 12-minute quarters changing to 10-minute quarters. I know Silver has been kind of spreading this around. He said that he likes it, but he's not sure if he's going to make a change. What do you think? Do you think that shortening it from 12 to 10 is going to help? Because I feel like they already do that in college, right?
Favor of that, which it worries me that they're going to make that change. Just like when we heard the NFL was going to go from 16 to 17, all of a sudden it happened, and now they're talking about going from 17 to 18. Not sure what I mean. A lot of records would change because now you're going from 48 to 40 minutes. So you're not going to get high scoring games. You're not going to get people shooting 50, 60 points a game. That's going to be pretty much hard to do. Bench is not going to play as much because there's not that much time now. There's a lot that goes into that. So I don't know. I think it's all about player conditioning. Everybody wants to see the players on the court. A lot of players are doing a lot of what they call rest management, where they just they'll take a game off. They won't do back to backs, and maybe we'll see more of that with shorter games. So, I think a lot is going in. They definitely don't want to cut down the games. I think that was hey, do you want 40 minutes or you want less games? And of course, they're not going to do that. If anything, they probably want more games, which I don't think is a good idea for the NBA. But I think because of those facts, it may actually happen.
Yeah, it's already as it is a long season. We're talking about end of October all the way to maybe June if you make the finals. That's a long season. So, and like you said, owners are not going to approve lesser games. They already They already have the arenas. They already have all that clocked out. I could see them moving to like a 40-minute game. It's just that strategies have to change. Like you said, benches have to expect less minutes. You're not probably going to break as many records anymore. So yeah, it's going to be some adjustment, but I think the idea is growing on me, Larry. It's growing on me. I like the fact that, and like you said, maybe you don't take a game off, So I like the idea. I like the idea a lot. Larry, let's talk about a quick recap of January, because the team. Well, before we go that, we both had the team going 11-5 for the month of January. They ended up going 10-6, which surprised me because there were a lot of, back-to-back. Actually, no, there weren't any back-to-back losses for the month of January, but I feel like they could have easily had a winning streak. So they would win 2 games and lose 1. They would win a game and lose a game, win a game and lose a game. So there wasn't that consistency there. Is there a reason, in your estimation, is there a reason why this was happening?
Yeah, like going back to what we said earlier, it felt much worse than what it actually looked like on paper. There was, teams that weren't really that competitive that we were losing to or having close games with. And I don't know, it just, to me, we'll talk about it later, but the Celtics defense, for me, seems like it's just too easy to score. And it should never be that way when we're playing. We just, I don't know, just there's some things I just think that hopefully we can shake off and come strong for February. Even though I had them losing a lot of games in February, I'm hoping that what they did in January will kickstart and they'll do a better performance this month.
Yeah, because there were some games that you and I felt like they should have won, but they lost. The Sacramento game, we both had them winning that game. The Toronto game, we both had them winning that game, which to me was like, why would you lose to Toronto? We also had them winning against Atlanta, which some nights Atlanta looks great, and then some nights it looked horrible. So it's like, what is going on? I know that people are going to bring the A game against the world champions, but these are teams that you shouldn't be losing to, right? Another team that we both thought it was a win, but it came to a loss with the Houston Rockets. We never thought that Brooks would drop 30 plus one night, right? And Thompson would look like so good against Cornet. So yeah, we'll talk about the defense when that comes up, because that, I think, is an issue. So let's go into quickly February. So what record are you going with, Larry?
Originally, at the start of the season, I gave them 5-6. I thought this was going to be their slump, but it looks like they had their slump earlier. So they may win more games than what I have. I actually think they'll definitely win against Miami now. So I'm predicting 6-5, and I'm hoping that they do better than that just because of what we've seen recently.
Yeah, I was at the start of the season. I predicted them to go 9-2 for February. I since changed that to 10-1 because I think that Miami is beatable. But, there's a big break. What is it, like 8 days between San Antonio and Philadelphia game, which is the All-Star break. Within those 8 days, they should have a decent record, at least in my estimation. I think they should come when the break happens. They should have a decent record and then pick up right where they left off. At least that is my expectation of them for the February game. So let's see what they can do. Larry, who is in your power ranking?
Power rankings, I put OKC only because the MVPs with them. Then Cleveland, Boston at 3rd still. Then I got Houston at 4. Even though Amen had a prayer in that game. Milwaukee and Memphis, and then New York at 7, 8. I put Lakers at 9, and I snuck Indiana in as 10 because they just climbed up the rankings, climbed up the standings. So I thought I'd give them a little due.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at you. If I look at the last 10 games, they're 8-2. So they're putting things together. Rick Carlisle knows what's up with that team. I almost identical to yours, Larry. I have OKC, Cleveland, Boston, and Houston, my top 4. And then I have Memphis, New York Knicks, which, the give and take, but I think the Knicks will be there. I have the Lakers. I think they starting to figure it out. JJ Redick is trying to put a lineup together. And I know LeBron maybe trying to sabotage that, but I think the Lakers are there. Milwaukee, I have as number 8. And then I have the Clippers and Denver rounding off the top 10. So, all these teams I'm not worried about. Maybe the Knicks because they can go back and forth, but all these teams, they can score on you. And I think when I look at this list, I like OKC and I like Houston Rockets defense. Everyone else, it's flip a coin. I sometimes Cleveland shows up, sometimes they don't. I don't know. To me, your defense has to be there all the time. You cannot take any nights off, especially on offense. Yes, I can see that sometimes the ball is not going through the basket, but you still need to play defense. So that's why I went with that list. Larry, who is part of your stock up?
Yeah, I hope you don't think I stole your list, but I guess we were just on the same wavelength here. So I think our lists are identical. Just because of that shot last night, I had to put JT at the number 1 spot. Just because KP was shooting from Springfield, I had to put him down for number 2. And then Springer, he's been hitting those corner threes for us at really good times. So I said, let me give him some due as well.
Yeah, I have the same exact list. I think last episode 18, we also had Tatum on our stuck up stuck down. Yeah. No, actually, no. We went with Derek White. Does that sound right? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
I think Derek White was on fire at that point. JT almost had a near triple double last night. So he's playing really well. And just we needed it. We didn't think we would need that for the Pelicans, but we needed it. So that was good.
Yeah, that was real good. I have KP because he's actually getting more minutes, and I think that's why January was so good, because I think they're integrating KP into the lineup. He's starting now. He's getting tons of minutes. I think hopefully, knock on wood, there's no wood around me, but knock on wood, he's actually going to be healthy when we make our playoff run. And then, as you said, I had Springer. Now, Springer is on the trading block, supposedly on the trading block. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad if a team sees he's kind of athletic, plays defense. He's very young. I think he's 21. I'm not mad. The offense will come, but if everything else is there, why not? Sure, put him on the block, because to be honest, and we'll get to that, Celtics bench, it's not good. And actually, let me start out with the start down. Celtics bench, there's, other than Pritchard, nobody. I'm talking about Hauser, Horford, I don't want to say Keta, because Keta is not there to play offense, but this Celtics bench is not performing like it was, when Malcolm Brogdon was there, or it's not performing like last year when Hauser was pretty much on point and every three was going in. So I have the Celtics bench on my stock down portion of this show, of the episode. Then I have the Celtics defense because at the end of games, it seems like they don't know what they're doing. I don't know if we should be blaming Joe Mazzulla for this, or personnel wise, he just doesn't have the players. I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the games, they don't know who to put out there. And as you mentioned earlier, you can run on this defense, which I thought that you couldn't because of Tatum and Brown, but you can run on this defense. Again, Derek White and Holiday, where are you guys? You guys should be stopping. We should stop preventing this. Everyone just goes out and run against the Celtics. And then my third stock down, I'm gonna go with Horford. Only I know he's old, Larry. I know he's old, but he is not doing it this year. I don't know if he's just hurt. He's not getting enough playing time because he's on the bench, but he was on the bench last year and they did fine. So yeah, those are my 3 stock down portions. What are yours, Larry?
Yeah, I started mine with the Celtics defense because that is the huge thing that really made January was not quite sure what is going on. And to credit the bench, I don't think the bench is primarily in fault for their defense. I think it's the starters and the coaching. I feel like when they get leads, they play differently. I just think that they need to come up with a better strategy for the defense. I feel like the bench has always been kind of suspect from the beginning of the season. I gave them a little bit of break when I realized that their bench is mainly 3 big men that come in. And then you've got Hauser and Pritchard. That's it. So the bench should be, I'll give them, and then now that Spring is stepping up, I'll give them a break. So I didn't put the bench on there. Number 2, I put Bronny James. Let's have them spend some time in the G League, let him score a bunch of points, but let's not embarrass him anymore and give them opportunity. We all know he needed some time to marinate, and he give him 2 more years. It's just not going to happen this year. He won't. If he plays well, it's not going to be until his dad is retired, and we just have to be honest with that. And then number 3, I had Jimmy Butler. I feel like now he's really hurting Miami because they don't know what's going on. Either you're going to play or not going to play. You're going to come to practice and leave early. What's going on? So I think that really affected him, and that's why I gave Miami the loss when we play them, because I just think that they're out of sync and they always played bad every year, but towards the end they do just enough to sneak in, and then they normally get through the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, first it was a Jimmy Butler thing that's going back and forth. Now they're talking about Rozier was shaving points, allegedly. I don't know if it's true. I'm not privy to those kind of games. We're talking about games that happened in 2022, 2023. So he wasn't even with the team, I think. And then to be honest, they only have one true all-star player, and that's Tyler Hero, who has been lights out scoring. He's still not a great defensive player, but he's still doing it. And if he's a reserve, I don't know. Was he a reserve? Is he even on there? I don't know, but that's the only good player that they have. So that's why I changed my proposition with this is not a good team. This Miami team is not a good team. So that, to me, that's my take. That's my, Miami's not good. All this Jimmy Butler drama, all this Rozier possible drama coming your way. I just feel like they're not that great of a team anymore. It used to put fear in my heart every time the Celtics would play the Heat, but now who knows? I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with your stock down, Tyler Hero is in the reserve. He is an all-star, but where's Bam? They should have more players, and that's the case. So, they'll probably fall out. I don't think he can carry the team, so I think they're going to fall out again. And the East, the only thing we're worried about is obviously Cleveland and Boston on the East side, and the Knicks are kind of suspect, but that's where we're at.
So, do you think that the Celtics need to make a trade during the deadline, or you think that they're going to figure it out?
I mean, if they can find somebody who's defensive minded, just like, well, I guess they just traded that guy to the Jazz from the Clippers. Someone who's defensive minded. Obviously Marcus Smart is a name I'm thinking of. Definitely someone who can play D and someone can shoot threes. So that's our style. I just don't know if anyone out there can fit that mold for our team. So I don't know. We grab somebody, we may lose somebody that we need, and I don't know if it's worth it at this point. So I guess we have to see what's out there. And looking for somebody who's really good at offense is not going to help us either. We really just need that defensive minded individual.
Now I saw that there were some trade possibilities for Yabusele from I think he plays for the Sixers. He's power forward-ish, maybe small forward. Do you think having him come off the bench, because they bury Tillman? It's very rare that you see Tillman. I think that the Tillman experiment is over. They've given up on him. So do you think that getting Yabusele, because he played pretty good in the Summer Olympics for Nigeria, I think he played for. So even Nigeria, or was it France? I'm not sure, but he played pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was France. He didn't get much playing time his first stint with the Celtics, and so I was kind of mad when I saw him playing that well in the Olympics. I'm like, where was this when you were with us? If we swap him out for Tillman, yeah, I definitely would take him. But I don't want to lose anybody else for him because I just don't know how he would flow with us. We normally do well when we take players back the second time around. Tice, Horford. But I just don't know. If it's a trade, they're not going to take Tillman. Nobody's going to take Tillman at this point.
No one wants Tillman. I think Tillman, when that trade happened with Memphis, I think it was because they weren't sure about Horford if he was going to make it through the whole entire season, but obviously he did. So they didn't have to worry about him getting injured. So it's like Tillman was kind of like a poor man's Horford. And that experiment is over now. So basically, in your estimation, Larry, you think that obviously the starters are okay. Obviously, Horford and Pritchard are okay to come up for the bench. Do you like to see more Cornet, less Cornet? Do you want to see more Keda or less Keda? Do you want to Hauser? I don't know where Hauser's head is. I don't know if it's injury related or something else, but what do you want to see them do for this trade deadline? Do you want them to just stand still, do nothing? And is that okay?
I like the improvement with Cornet and Keda. I think Cornet actually has been hitting some alley-oops now, and I think that's the way they need to play him because, yes, we have him in there for defense, but if we can get a few easy bunnies, that's good because every other team is getting easy shots in the paint. So, because three guys are big men in our bench, the other two is really Pritchard and Hauser, so, that's it. And you know that keeping those five starters on is really what makes us the best anyway. So I don't think it makes sense to bring anybody else in at this point. I just think we need to have a better strategy with our defense. I understand we're a 3-point team, and I think we can play in the inside. We can play in the paint. I want to see some more of that. I want some more inside, just to make defenses guess and make them work a little bit. So I think that's something we need to do. Make them tired by the time it gets to the fourth quarter. If not, what happens when they're not tired? They just kind of destroy us. So I think we just got to make them work, move the ball around, come inside, draw some more fouls. And Tatum only had like one free throw late. I was like, what's going on? So there's a lot of that they just need to change up.
Now, are you worried about Derek White, or are you worried about Jaylen Brown? Because I texted you last week, and I was just like, I know Derek White, he had a hot December, and then he just cool off, like really cool off. But JB, what's going on with JB? Because he used to be like the table setter for Jason Tatum, right? He used to own the first quarter, own the third quarter, and now he's like struggling. Like visibly, you can see that he's struggling. Yes, he might have some good quarters here and there, but I don't see a complete game. Like, are you worried at all about JB?
The only thing I'm worried about with JB and Derek White is that, the Celtics do something silly and trade them away because they haven't been as consistent as we would like. And I think that would be a mistake. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen because then we would pay for it because they would probably play well with another team. But I think that I think JB and White will figure it out and they'll get back to their ways that they were playing earlier in the season. I hope JB starts playing like the MVP guy we saw last year. Obviously, Tatum has figured it out. He's got himself together and he's doing much better. So I don't know. I just think I think the coach needs to let the team know what works best. Again, get the other team tired. So by the time the fourth quarter comes, we can just kind of cruise through like other teams have been doing to us.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing blowouts like we did last year, which is okay. We know that the bench is struggling to score points, and maybe we can be the Boston Celtics can be up by 20, 30 points, and then they bring in the bench, and then now they're down by 10. So I can see that's happening over and over again. But like you mentioned before, first of all, Derek White just got an extension last year, and Jaylen Brown got the max contract,
Correct.
2 years ago. I don't think any team wants to touch those two guys because they're probably gonna think that they're overpaid, right? I want to see them. I don't know what the draft, if they have a lot of picks or if they don't, but I want to see them just bring somebody in, not a starter obviously, but just somebody that they can go to make that bench a little bit stronger. Sometimes I get really depressed when I see them up by 20 and then like I walk to the kitchen, I walk back and it's already they're up by 10. So it's like, what guys, what's going on? What? You let this team Toronto back in, you let the Kings back in, and they didn't even have DeAndre Foxes for that game, and I think they still won. Yeah, I don't want to press the panic button yet, but I want to see them play like champions, basically.
Absolutely.
Show me that you guys are not complacent. Like, show me that you guys want to defend this title. And to me, I know that they had a pretty good January, but I want to see 4 games in a row. I want to see 5-game winning streak. Like, I want to see more consistency from this team. That's why I'm not pressing the panic button. I'm just saying, show me more of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, show me more of that.
I agree. I think back to when they blew out Toronto in December and then they lose to them in January. Inconsistency is killing us. We need to come up with some more plays on the inside. We know where the threes are going to fall. Maybe we're shooting too many threes at this point. Again, let's make the other teams work by having that have to run us down and track us down, and that'll fare better for us in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So Larry, before we close this episode, what do you want to tell the Boston fans out there? The ones that are worried and the ones that are not worried at all. They're just like happy that they won. I'm not in that camp at all. I'm more of the worry camp. So what? Tell me something positive that I can take.
I still think we have the best team. We're not playing like it right now. We can beat OKC, we can beat Cleveland, and we have to start showing it now. To put some fear in these teams, because none of these teams, all of them, none of them really fear us at this point. They all think they can beat us on any day, and we got to take that away. We got to let them know why we're the best. Everyone needs to play in full cylinders, and we just need to come out and show them that we're the Celtics. A lot of people still kind of put an asterisk on us because a lot of the key players on the teams were injured and not playing. So let's go ahead and take them out and show them what we can do. And it starts now. Maybe after the All-Star break we get the rest up, but we need to come with some fire for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree. I know that this team is very, very professional. They don't like to play dirty. They like to just, show up, do their job. That's fine. That's the attitude but I want them to smack the other team in the face with their skills, with their passing, with their defense, especially their defense. That's the number one thing. This team on the road plays great defense, but at home, they just put the defense on the shelf. I don't know what happens when they play at home. They just don't. That defense doesn't show up. I want that defense to show up at home and when they're away. So, listen, let's play like champions. I feel like sometimes we don't play like champions, especially, when it's back-to-back games, which is understandable, but still show up. And I think that, Jason Tatum said the other day, he doesn't take nights off because he wants to show up for the fans, which it's very commendable. He's young. He's only 27, but I want the rest of the team to have that mentality. I feel like that for some reason, who's the team captains of that team?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
I know JT is. I would think
Holiday
as well.
Is it Holiday?
Holiday would definitely be captain. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. We may see a team next week do a three-peat. Pat Riley, don't sue me for that. But I just think that the Celtics want to get to that point. They gotta show something this year, and they gotta show that they're a team to be reckoned with. And I think it starts with defending their title this year.
Yeah, so right now the Celtic captains are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So basically, the two max contracts, the two quote-unquote most special players on the team, Jason Tatum, that he is what he is, right? He's a nice guy. But JB needs to just be take the mask off and just be hey, if I'm gonna be the villain, let me be the villain. I know he's a nice guy off the court, but I want to see some of that mean streak. He has a chip on his shoulder. Just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I just want them to be they talk about Joe Mazzulla shows them how killer whales, attack people. I want to see more of that. And I don't know. I don't know if maybe it hasn't been, open. When Ime Udoka was there, I felt like they were more like Mad Dog play. With Joe Mazzulla, it's more like strategy. I don't know what's going on, but obviously it worked. They won a championship, but I want to see more of that. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm upset, Larry, but I am kind of disappointed what's been transpiring the last, 3 or 4 months. I want to see more. I want to see more fight, basically what I'm saying.
I definitely agree. Udoka, he got his guys ready. They had some fight, and that's why they beat us, let's bring that back. Let's try to remember what that was. And sometimes your players take on the personality of your coach. And so, he's got to get a little tougher for them, and he'll see that. Maybe he needs to get a tech and fire those guys up. Yep,
that's I 100% agree. Just fire. I I listen. I have nothing against Joe Mazzulla, but I want to see some more fire. The other day he was like yelling at a referee, and I was like, yes, show me more of that. I want to see more of that, but you know, it's a different generation, so I can't say too much. So next episode, it'll be episode 20. It'll be after the All-Star break. We'll see where they are. Right now, they're in second place. Cross my fingers that they're in first place and they take care of Cleveland like they should. I know they play them twice in the month of February. I have them down for wins. You have them down for splitting it. So let's go. Let's go. Let's put these teams away once and for all. Larry, always a pleasure to talk to you about basketball. Anything big other than Valentine's Day this month?
Oh yeah, guys, start stacking your money. Valentine's is right around the corner. Go to San Francisco and take them to an All-Star break. You know, I just think we ready for the second season to start kicking off, and let's see what's going on. Let's cross our fingers on these trade deadlines and make sure sub Orca team doesn't get great and get in our way. You know,
I agree 100%. And with that said, I say peace.
Peace.
Hi guys, thank you for listening to this episode, Chasing Dino's podcast. If you have any concerns or questions, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. And please subscribe to this channel, this page, whatever it is, platform that you listen. Peace.